many of us, if not most of us, fail every day, including myself. I fail. It's starting to get to a point where, in my opinion, I believe failing is people who are having these thoughts of wanting to change an aspect of their life. They're wanting to get clean and sober, but they're waiting, for example. They're wanting to try a new profession, but they're waiting. That is, in my opinion, a bigger failure than actually acting upon what you're trying to accomplish. Even if you do fail trying something new, it's a new experience. And in my opinion, even though that might be, people might consider it failing if it doesn't work out, at least you have the experience and at least you've tried something new. There's nothing worse than failing internally, in your head, in your heart, whatever it may be. And it's sheer torture if you're having these thoughts of wanting to try something new, or if you're staying in your head and staying super conservative and you're wanting to try something new and then at the end of the day you're refusing. You're not acting, you're just every day saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but there's no action with it. That is way more of a failure, and it's way more dangerous, honestly. And what I mean by acting upon these thoughts, obviously healthy thoughts, stuff that you're wanting to do that will benefit yourself. Sometimes you have to think about it in a healthy way, is when you were a kid where you weren't scared to try new things. You went with the flow. And I'm not saying to act like you're a child. Again, nothing like that. But if you go through life saying you're going to do something over and over and over again and there's no action, that's going to unfortunately increase your chances of having a mental health illness. It's going to put more strain on your family. And you're going to be looked at, unfortunately, in my own opinion, as a weak person. The weak individuals out there today, unfortunately, a lot of times are the rich people out there. And what I mean by that is, a lot of these rich people out here, unfortunately, are some of the most weak-minded people and mentally unstable people you will meet. And I'm not saying all of them, but there's a good amount of them that do not like their life. They go through the same motion every single day, expecting the exact same result. And they're having these thoughts of, maybe I should try this. And what I mean by this is not switching, in this example, not saying they should leave their profession and go do something else. I'm saying things in regards to, they're doing the same thing every day and they're not willing to change at all. They're not willing to change. And what I mean by change, I'm not saying the boundary of change is anything that should be extreme change, but I'm saying in regards to, you're telling your family or telling others, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and you never do. You never go outside of your boundaries. You never are willing, yet you say you're willing to try something new. And then you're living a miserable life where at the end of the day, you have all this money and you're toward the end of it. And you have all these thoughts come back to you where you're like, man, I remember when I was saying this, this, and this, and I never did it. Never did it. I just think at the end of the day, yes, money, we all must make money. We all must make money to live. It's essential. But at what price are you willing to let that take over your life even, and not live outside your comfort zone a little bit and grow in experiences and make more connections. And this isn't just directed, once again, at rich people. It was just an example. There's plenty of people from all walks of life. Most people, unfortunately, who this happens to. And I'm not saying, again, to like pull some into the wild thing where you leave civilization and go into the wilderness and whatnot. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just, you got to take a chance. You got to be a dangerous man sometimes, or a dangerous woman. And once again, what I mean by this is not saying dangerous to others. I'm saying take a chance on yourself. What have you got to lose? Okay, if it doesn't work out and you fail at it, it's an experience you gained. But most people who are successful today, and I'm not saying rich, I'm just saying who are successful, have failed multiple times over and over and over again. And I'll tell you something about these people. They do not rely on motivation, because that's the trick today that people think is going to help them make change. When in reality, when you're watching a motivational video and whatnot, that's an immediate hit of dopamine that sparks maybe a little bit of that change. But once that's over with, where's that motivation going to come from? You see, today we should never rely. Yes, first off, motivational videos are good, obviously. But you should never solely rely on just motivational videos to make change. Well, then what do you do outside of watching motivational videos? You act. You have to act. And you must develop a work ethic where you should pretty much understand that you're going to lose. That's why a lot of times people today, even who like win the lottery, why do they lose all their money so quickly? You think about it. Because when you get that quick hit of dopamine and whatnot, they never worked at it over time. Never worked at it. So my point is to this whole thing is, don't be afraid to fail. Do not be afraid to fail. You will fail, but through failing, you will gain more experiences compared to somebody who's lived conservative their whole life, who never took any chances, and goes to the grave that way, not trying anything new.